So, before we start this video, I actually found the reason why my, earphones was, the recording sounded weird. It's apparently because I bent my, headphones weirdly. So, yeah, I'm gonna be using my little brother's headphones for now. So, just ignore it. It probably sounds weird. So, yeah, so let's just begin. Hello guys, I am back from another video, and today we talk about what if Deku had the power of the Greek gods. So in the last video of Deku, Izuku was reclusing himself in his room because, it's his fault for, creating the incident. So, while in his room, his two brothers, being Dionysus and Zagreus, basically try and comfort him and told them that they're going to be having a party between the Greek pantheon and the Norse pantheon, but they didn't. But Izuku didn't want to join because, the whole incident thing, and it's his fault. And now, well, well, Thor is pretty much mad at him. So yeah, so he was left at home. So after they come back, Izuku was brought a letter, and apparently it's a from the Christian pantheon, and apparently Yahweh was still alive. So, when Izuku and Eros was trying to find them, they found them, and in the midst of the battle, Izuku got killed. So, a certain god by the name of Hecate decided to save him by using her magic to basically revive him as a human, but the only way to basically, I'm gonna be retconning this, the only way for him to become a god again is by killing Yahweh and absorbing his energy. So yeah. So apparently she said to the well the Japanese pantheon that he was going to be going to their land and be revived as a human. So yeah. So let's talk about what happens next. So Izuku was birthed from Inkumadoria, but when Asashi looked at Izuku, he doesn't look like him at all. He has, almost silver-ish hair and a streak of yellow hair or golden hair. And when Izuku opened his eyes were purple. Asashi actually blamed, Inko because he think or thought that, Inko was cheating on him. As Inko says, no, it wasn't me. I didn't cheat on you. As he says, why does our son look like that? As she says, I don't know. It's probably because of his quirk. As he basically says, bullshit. He starts storming off of a well. Storming out of the ER. So after a few months of goodbye, she came out to the hospital, but Asashi decided to file a divorce. So after he divorced, Inko was alone. But for Izuku, he has all of the memories back when he was a god. So yeah, so Izuku was waiting for Susanoo, as Izuku sees a young boy. A young boy with, wait for a second. A lightning bolt streak in his hair, and is also, blonde. As he says, you must be Izuku, right? He says, oh, you must be Susanoo. Oh, as he says, yeah. You look super adorable, so I'll be disguised as a human for now. And I'm also going to be going to the same, elementary school as you. Izuku says, elementary school? As he says, oh yeah, you don't know. After a few centuries, everything changed. He basically explained what happened. Izuku says, interesting. So, while Izuku was talking to, Susanoo, which he was disguised as a kid by the name of, Well, Kaminari. So yeah, so Izuku and Kaminari are going to be like best friends in this what if. So yeah. So while they were talking, well, Inko looked as she sees a boy talking to her son as she say hello young boy, um are you Izuku's friend? He says, yeah, my name is Kaminari. This is my mom. He basically created illusions. Not only illusions, but also lightning manipulation, which he pretends as his quirk. So, wait for a second. So, he creates an illusion that looks like a woman that looks similar to, well, Susanoo slash, well, wait for a second. So Kaminari's mother, quote unquote, basically says, "Oh, hello. My son's been friends with with your son for a while now." She says, "Oh, hello. My name is Inko." They basically start talking as for Izuku and Kaminari slash Susanoo. They basically start talking. They basically explain what he's going to be using as his so-called quirk, quote unquote. Izuku basically says, so I'm gonna be using my magic as well as a quirk. As he says, yeah, it would be easy. So yeah. So when Izuku became 3 and it's time for him to go to the quirk doctor examined him. Izuku showed off his magic, summoning his scythe known as Thanatos, named after the god that Izuku absorbed, a bow known as Hypnos, named after the another god that he absorbed, and also his blade known as Nemesis. He basically says to Inko that, well, it doesn't seem to look like it has a quirk. As she says, what? Then what was that power? He looked like he had the ability to create, weapons. As he says, I don't know, but maybe it's just some sort of, anomaly. So, yeah. So, he basically says, so, guess I'll give this quirk a name. What's a great name for this quirk? So, while Izuku was, thinking in his mind what's a great name for his quirk, Izuku decides this. So, Izuku says, he felt this. As he says, he felt this? Huh, I guess that could work. Izuku thought in his mind, heh, that's an easy name to pick. Because after all, I used to be a Greek god. But now I'm stuck in this human body. And if you don't know what a Fialdis means, well, it means nightmare in Greek. So yeah, so it makes sense. So after um after they gone to the quirk doctor, Izuku was going to the park with Kaminari slash Susanoo. While they were playing, quote unquote, they hear a kid being bullied. It's a girl with. Wait for a second. Ziku sees a girl with ear jacks for ears that's being bullied by this kid with blonde hair and red eyes. So, Izuku blocks the attack from, the kid as he says, hey, move along, kid. I'm supposed to be the better one here, and I'm the hero. Izuku says, hero, why are you hurting this girl? As he says, well, he has a really weak quirk. As Izuku says, so what is your quirk then? As he says, well, it's his explosion quirk. An explosion quirk that's really powerful and awesome. Even better than any other quirk. That means I'm gonna become the number one hero. Izuku says, well, that's more like a villain quirk than anything else. As he says, what did you say? He starts creating explosions. Izuku says, so what's your name? As he says, my name is Bakugo Katsuki. If you wanna know, then die! He starts using his explosions to get ready to attack Izuku. As Izuku... Wait for a second. So, Izuku summons out his scythe known as Thanatos. Izuku says, If you hurt this innocent little girl one more time, then you'll feel my pain. He basically starts summoning out tons and tons of darkness, which envelop the kid known as Bakugo. As Izuku says, feel her pain. As he basically gets well, a little bit scared as he starts running away. As he says, "You villain, get away from me!" As he starts running away, as in, I mean, his goons and Bakugo himself. Izuku, after summoning back his scythe into his whatever it is. So Izuku comforts the girl as Izuku says, "Are you okay?" As she says, um, "Thank you. My name is Jiro. What's your name?" Izuku says, "My name is Izuku." As the boy says, "My name is Kaminari. Nice to meet you as well." As she says, "Thank you, I guess. I'll be going home now. So, thank you." So, she starts going home as Izuku hears his mom basically calling out to him, saying, "Alright, Izuku, time for you to go home." As Izuku says, "Bye, Kaminari." As he says, "Alright, bye." So, while they were basically in middle school, Izuku was the popular boy in school because he's pretty handsome. Not only that, he's pretty much like the how do I say it? Um he's pretty much like the teacher's pet, being the smartest in the class. Not only that, being a top student means that any bully that tries to fight Izuku basically gets how do I say it? Literally gets destroyed by him because of his quirk. So, when Izuku saw Bakugo, that kid that fought that girl for no reason, they basically became mortal enemies. Izuku never became friends with him, in fact. So, when it's the final day of middle school, Izuku was in the in the front of the class, basically saying, "All right, all of you, basically start behaving because teacher's gonna come back soon." So they start behaving because Izuku is pretty much the popular boy in school after all. So when the teacher arrives, he basically says, "Alright, I need you all to sign these papers because you're gonna be going to your different high schools." As he throws the papers, as he says, "I'm just kidding. I know all of you want to become heroes." As they start using their quirks, including Bakugo, as he says, "Yeah, I'm gonna become the number one hero, and all of you busted B-listers are going to become side kids with some loser hero." As he starts saying, "Hey, it doesn't mean that you're better than us." As Izuku says, "Sit down, Bakugo. After all of your grades are nothing more than simpleton. Um, well, a simpleton's type of dream. And besides, if you were to become a hero, you're probably not going to be popular." As he says, "What do you mean by that, nerd?" Izuku says, "Well, you're impulsive, and you're also greedy. You're also quite prideful. And pride is a deadly sin after all. And pride is your downfall, also. If you don't swallow your pride, well, the villain or anybody that tries to fight you will instantly defeat you. That is why you don't deserve to be a hero." As he says, "What did you say, nerd?" He basically gets up and basically grabs him by the collar. As Izuku says, "Well then." Izuku summons out his sword Nemesis. Izuku points it at Bakugo. As everybody's a bit terrified, Izuku says, "If you dare try and fight me, you will be dead instantly." As Izuku says, alright. Um, Izuku, at least, try not to kill Bakugo." Izuku says, "Right." Izuku makes his sword disappear. As Izuku says, "Alright. So, it seems that two people are gonna be going to UA. Bakugo Katsuki and Izuku Midoriya." Bakugo was completely in shock. As Bakugo says, "Hey, I'm supposed to be the only one that's going to UA." And Izuku says, Well, I need to keep you in check. After all, you might become a villain. And if you become a villain, well, I won't hesitate to destroy you. As everybody's basically whispering, they basically say, yeah, Izuku's supposed to go to UA. After all, he's one of the best students here. And besides, if Bakugo becomes the hero, or at least the number one hero, everything will be well, the whole entire world will become a disaster. So yeah, so when everybody starts leaving, Izuku was going to the tunnel. As Izuku sees the sludge villain, the sludge villain says, ah, a nice little body to hijack. He starts charging in at Izuku. As Izuku basically shoots an arrow from his, well, from his magic or quirk, quote unquote. Izuku summons out Hypnos as it shoots the sludge villain, and it causes him to sleep. But when he was sleeping, he starts getting an intense nightmare. He's saying it. He starts saying in his mind, "Stop, stop, stop." But in the real world, I'm at the real world. He looks like he's trembling. Zuko leaves the site, as when All Might sees the villain basically cowering, he says, "Please stop. I don't want this." As All Might says, okay. He grabs the sludge villain and puts him in the bottle. So, Izuku never met All Might. Also, so yeah. So, while Izuku was going home, Izuku sees Kaminari leaving his as he says, "Hey, hey Izuku," or should I say Nightmare? Izuku says, all right, Susanoo. Besides, you can call me that." As he says, "Oh, right." So, Izuku, are you gonna be going to UA? Izuku says, "Yeah, obviously. If I become a hero, I probably have a chance of finally becoming a god again." As he says, "Oh, right." So, after they stop talking, they start going back home. Izuku sees his mother as she says, "I made your favorite Izuku." Izuku says, "Oh, thanks, mom." So, after eating, he starts going to his bedroom and goes to sleep. So, yeah, so I hope you'll like the video, comment and subscribe, and I hope to see you guys next time. Bye bye.